Hi folks, CodeTutor here and my name is Anil Deshpande. Hi folks, some time back I had asked in the YouTube channel's community post about what do you guys do when it comes to adoption of CICD, and the response was very interesting. 43% of the people actually said that they actually never use any CICD. They always build manually. And 17 people said they only use it occasionally for major releases. I was surprised to see that almost 60% of the people didn't really use CICD in their development workflow for the Android application. This got me thinking as to why this might be the reason. And when I started interacting with the folks, I came to know that there could be various reasons. One of the reasons why people don't use CI/CD apparently is they have not written enough unit tests, because CI/CD usually shows if the unit tests are not written properly and the code coverage is very low. Then people might get intimidated by the tool complexity. There might be a skill gap. They are facing with the flaky builds where builds keep failing when they are running it in CI/CD environment. On local machines, they have much better control over that. So maybe they don't even want to go down the route of CI/CD. Or builds are taking too long time in the runners. Last but not the least, the org culture might be a major barrier. No matter what could be your reason, it is very important for you to understand why CI/CD is important. When somebody hears the term CI/CD, they might be intimidated with a lot of questions. Questions like, what exactly is a CI/CD? Why do we need it? Is CI and CD one and the same, or are they different? Is CI/CD meant for only big teams? Can a solo developer also need a CI/CD? When does it become necessary to implement or adopt CI/CD for your development workflow? Or can I still work without any CI/CD? Well, let us first understand, why do you actually even need the CI/CD in the first place? So let us start with the simplest possible setup where you are dealing with a single developer. He writes the code or she writes the code. They are doing the basic sanity checks on the code that has been written. Then they do any debugging and fix the bugs. And finally, they sign and deploy the application APK file or AAB file to the App Store. In this case, there is no dependency on anyone else. You don't need to coordinate with QA, designers, or any other developers. In this scenario, even if everything is manual, it still perfectly works. You might make certain mistakes occasionally, but you can fix them because you own the entire flow and you are writing all the code. So in solo developer setup, CI/CD is not a strict requirement. Automation is helpful but not really mandatory. The complexity is low and the manual processes are manageable. Now let's move to a little bit more realistic scenario where you have a slightly bigger team that you are working with. Typically what you have is a UI UX member or a team. These designers usually define the design guidelines, and then you have multiple developers who implement different features, and then you have QA team or a testing team who validate all the application. Here each role depend on one another and work happens in parallel. Within the development team, each developers might be working on different features and they might be releasing those features for the testing for the quick feedback loop from the QA team. Each feature often live in its own branch. Features progress at different speeds. Some features might be ready early and others might take more time. This is purely from the perspective of the development team. Now think from the QA's perspective. QAs have to share their feedback very quickly, validate the functionality very early. So basically what happens is they are dealing with multiple builds that are coming from the development team to the QA team. So the QA team starts facing the challenges like, which feature is the build that they are getting? Is this the latest version or the older version? If this coordination is done manually through chats or emails or spreadsheets, it becomes messy very quickly. Wrong builds get tested, feedback is given on outdated code, developers and QA lose the synchronization. And then let's add another more layer of complexity. Other than the developers and QA, there is management priorities. They might say that feature A should go to production first, or feature B should be delayed. Feature C needs little bit more testing. In that case, only specific branches should be merged or signed and released for the Play Store. Based on that, a particular branch might finally get signed for the production deployment to the App Store. And to manage this particular complexity, you need a system. And that system is nothing but CI, that is continuous integration. It helps you to automate the builds, track which code goes into which build. It ensures the consistency across different environments and reduces the human errors. It creates a single reliable system that everybody trusts. The key idea to remember is this: CI, that is continuous integration, is not about tools. It is about managing the complexity as team grows. Manual process works for the individuals, but automation becomes essential for teams. Now let's go beyond that. Now we are not dealing with just a bigger team, we are dealing with something more. If you see diagrams between the top and bottom, they almost look one and the same. But what changes in this case is, instead of one release going for the signing and deployment, multiple releases might be going from the QA team after the approval from the management and the developer to the SRE team. And they might be signing multiple builds, or they will have to deal with multiple builds that might be coming from the CI, and those will have to be reviewed, checked, and finally artifacts have to be created multiple number of times and deployed to the App Store. At this scale, manual release is very dangerous. You need to track which feature branch is approved, which tag is production ready, which build is assigned, which artifact is deployed. If humans do this, mistakes happen. That is where the CD, that is continuous deployment, helps you to automate this entire path. From approved feature to production deployment, it takes care of automating this whole process. It ensures that only approved code ships, releases are repeatable, and history is preserved. If you are wondering what is the difference between CI and CD, CI is building at scale and CD is releasing at scale. I think now you all are convinced that CI/CD is needed, and you now probably want to understand how actually implementing a CI/CD looks like. But I am sure your mind is buzzing with a lot of questions like, what do CI/CD contain? What CI/CD can do and can't do? What is a pipeline in a CI/CD? What is a artifact? I am pretty sure you have a lot of such questions. To help answer these particular questions, I have created a FAQ article on CodeTutor-Hub.dev article section. I suggest you go through this particular article. I will be pasting the link to this particular article in the description section below in the video. It should answer a lot of questions that you might be having. In the next video, we will explore the concepts of CI/CD in a much more detailed fashion. So stay tuned for the next video. That brings us to the end of this particular video. Don't forget to like, comment, share the video and subscribe to the channel. Take care. Bye.